Hello everyone, let's look at today's Leetcode problem 335 total characters in string after transpiration 1. Before starting this problem, let us look at the motivational quote for today. You may have to fight a battle more than once to win it. Written by Margaret Thatcher. So it means that nobody would win on first battle, or all of the everyone is not successful on first attempt, so we always need to practice and attempt it once again even after failing in a battle. Let's look at the problem statement. So you are given a string s and an integer t representing the number of transformation to perform. In one transformation, every character in s is replaced accordingly to the following rules. If the character in is Z, replace it with a string AB. Otherwise, replace it with the next character in the alphabet. For example, A is replaced with B and B is replaced with C and so on. So we are replacing to the next character. Return the length of the resulting string after exactly T transformations. Since the answer may be very large, return it modulo 10 power 9 plus 7. Okay, let us look at an example. So here we are given with a character A, B, C, Y, Y. So on first transformation, we get this as B, C, D, Z, Z. On second transformation, we get C, D, E. This would be AB, this would be AB. So this would make the string length, which was initially 5, 7. So we need to return 7 as our output. Let us look at this example where A, Z, D, K. So we need to make single transformation, and on single transformation we get B, A, B and C and A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K. K changes to L. So which was initially 4 characters, this would become a string length of 5. So this is the output. And constraint here is the string can be length of the input S, which is a string, can be length of 10 to the power 5. Okay, let us see the thought process on how to solve this problem. So we know that we are given with a t, which is a number of n transformations, and we can simply have a for loop where we can iterate from to p number of times, and we can replace the given string uh, each character. We can replace the string length of n. We can iterate over each character and change to the next character. So we can, after doing this, we can calculate the length. So here the time complexity would be t into n. If there is 10 power 5, then this would result in a time limit exceeded issue with Leetcode. So we can have another optimized approach where, if we understand this problem better, we are required to return the length of the resulting string. So we need to return the string length after the transformations t times. So we can have an approach where, let's say, we use a map to keep track of uh, all the string characters and its frequency, and we use for loop to iterate I from 0 to t times, and on each iteration we change this map, or we create a temporary map, uh, changing the values to the +1, and we keep the same frequency. uh, so here we might need to have a condition: if character is not equal to z, then we simply increment the character to the next character occurrence. Else we uh, change the character to A and D and increase the frequency in the hash map. So this is an approach, but in this approach we might be ending up with a hash map which would take about n characters, uh, n being length of string, and we might also have a for loop of t, and we might have a time complexity here of t into t plus n. T plus n, and s is equals to n since hash map. So we can have another set of optimization, since we are using hash map here, and we only are storing characters from A to Z, and if we read the problem, we only would be having characters A to Z, so which means there are 26 characters, and we are only storing 26 key value pairs in this map, and instead of an hash map we can use an array of 26 indexes, and we can store frequencies in this index where the time space complexity would be reduced to 26, or this would be s of 1 ideally, we since this is a constant when we use an array, and eventually we would uh, so eventually we would only be ending up with O of t, where t is the number of iterations. This n in the hash map represents to store all of this data in the hash map. To initially load string characters and frequencies, this is the reason. And once we are using, so if you are going with hash map, this is the time and space complexity. If you are going with an array based approach, this is the complexity, and this is an optimized approach. Let us go to the Leetcode editor and let's try solving this problem. Let's start off with few variable declarations. So here we are going to fill uh, an array of 26 indexes with the counts of the string, and so we are going to add it by changing or using the character code of each character, which ranges from 0 to, and we shall be using A as the first character, so we shall be referencing this way, and we shall be increasing the character count. So here we are going to create a loop which iterates t number of times to do the transformations on the string. We are going to have a temporary count frequency array where we are going to calculate the new temporary frequency on each transformation. So we are going to iterate uh, through the count frequency where we have stored all of the characters from the string s. So this should be chr.character code at 0. Okay, so this is the character code. Okay, so here we are going to iterate over the initial count array. So this is of length 26. So we are going to create a for loop with 26 or 25. 26. So if we see a character, or if we see a count at 26 or 25, then we consider this as a Z character, and we are going to change the temp count frequency at 0. With the initial count frequency of the string, and we mod this by 10 to the power 9 plus 7 to have the result modded, and we do the similar operation for frequency 1. And so once we have this, so we so this indicates we are changing, or we are increasing the temp frequency count with the comparison on the count string, which has the characters of string S, uh, 0 for the character A and for the character B as 1. And in this case, so we will be simply increasing the J character. And once we have done this, we shall be reassigning the count frequency with the new transformed string coming from the temp count frequency. We are using a spread operator for a deep copy of an array. To return the final output, so we can use a reduce method on the count frequency array. And we mod it by let's try submitting this solution and let's see if this works. this thing. Mm, okay, so this is off. Okay, so the solution gets submitted. We know that the time complexity of this solution is of t and s is equals to 1. So even though we have two for loops here, this is of constant iterations which is 26, and we have an array which we create with 26 indexes and no additional space is needed. So time and space complexity is t, which is the number of iteration, and space is 1. Thank you. Please like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. Thank you.